So team, welcome to the Bronx. I'm your coach, I'm Kaz, and I'm here to give you the information based on a lifetime of making mistakes but surviving them. Options are limited, and you're looking backwards saying, how did I get to here? Well, I'll tell you, you got to here 1 year at a time. We're getting close to 2023, the year of action. Disappointment for some, but you've got to take a shot. So that's what we're going to do right now. Subscribe and join us on Patreon as I become your coach, so my mistakes become your victories. Peace to your mama. So let's go. Double feature starting in 3, 2, 1, boom. What do you think you're doing? Hey, get out of there. It's the captain's chair. Rat.
It doesn't get easier the further I run. It gets harder to carry the weight of what I've done. I am speaking from experience.
Hey team, how we going? It is Kaz from the trenches with Kaz, and I'm here to ask you, how can it possibly be that the combat trained soldier finds more peace in the chaos of serving the nation, in being abroad, in being in Tully, in existing in adverse conditions for prolonged periods of time with no comfort, with no internet, without no phone, without the good foods, the things that he loves, and the people, and even their dog? How can that be more peaceful? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you know that where you are is non-political. You understand where you are in the chain of command. You're not fighting over that. It is not contested. You understand what the mission is. You're expecting it to be hard. Moments of absolute, what would we say? Moments of 100% red line activity, followed by long periods of waiting, anticipating, with nothing occurring. Boredom. But what can you do? All you can do is turn to your left or right and make conversation, old school conversation, with your battle buddy that's beside you. Understanding that every day will be different, and when it is more of the same, it might be harder, it might be easy, but you're getting paid. If you get hurt, it's free medical, and it's done during work hours. Fitness, hard, daily, in work hours. Dental, work hours. Time off. So often we find that with the 6 weeks off that you get at the end of the year, the 2 weeks at Easter, the 2 weeks in September, etc., rough ballpark figures, that no sooner do you give your pledge to your family to be there, to spend time with them, but you're already itchy as hell to get back on the road and go and spend time with your family, second family, your compadres, because there's no politics. You've got dark humour, swearing, talking about the things you can't talk about. There's no tiptoeing on the family freak eggshells that you need to keep away from certain topics. It's all, basically on and above board. So that is why I could imagine there's no falsities in the military. You're all there for the same reason. You're guided by normally the same capitalistic, adventure-seeking, brotherhood-loving, patriotic, fueled lifestyle, but can't exactly tell you why. Is it because we love the country? Is it because we love the adventure? Is it because we love our mates? Or we just like knowing that diversity of activity is more important than equity and diversity in a fake civilian landscape where you're told to believe in something despite the fact that you know it's full of shit. You just have to do it. You have to get told this is the way we have to think. To fit in today's HR department society, I don't understand it. When you go overseas for 6 months, 8 months, a year, whatever, no sooner do you get home, then you wish you were back with your buddies, drinking Coke in a glass bottle that's already had 1,000 customers. Getting up Ravelli tasting the countryside, the air, the different people, the cultures, the activities, and the smell of the spices and the pungent smell of the people. It's about making stories. It's about living life. It's about having an adventure. Everything the civilian world is saving up their time, saving up their shekels to do, you're getting it not just for free, but you're being paid to do it. Hanging out of a helo at high altitude, with the doors kicked open, hanging out. You know, with someone behind you giving you pride. Thanks, Trevor Cameron. Scared shitless of heights is Kaz. I want you to have a life that is different. I don't want you to say, I want to go to university. I want to hear, this is my dream, but I've got to go to university to get there. STEM, maybe. That I want to go and I want to be a carpenter. I want to be a boiler maker. I want to be a dentist. No one wants to be a dentist. It just pays well. I want to be a vet. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, people that love the animals most want to go where they see the most animal suffering. Confusing. I want to be a doctor. Why? Spend a life researching, reading books, smelling of rich mahogany. I don't know. It's up to you, the life journey, but don't get to 51 years old, where I am now, and then look back and say, I wish I'd done something different. Because I tell you now, life is about living, and life owes you nothing. Squat. So get out there, live your life, and remember, where you go for an apprenticeship, where you go for university, where you go for TAFE, that's just the conduit to get you to something that you'd better get right. Otherwise, hopefully, entrepreneurial, you make something of yourself, you have a great life, but remember, money doesn't make you happy. Achievement, stories, adventures, brotherhood, mateships, relationships, children. Looking back on the little things, she said. So take it easy and tell me why you believe that civilian life is more peaceful than military. Because I beg to differ. And that's Kaz in the trenches. Out to you. See ya.
I had to get back to the basics. What if my talent is wasted? And see what I'm lacking to placement. Lost as I rap in the basement, but my come up is legend, is greatness. I don't care now, it's pedal to the metal. I can never quit now, I will never settle. Puppet to the game, I'm pulling strings like Geppetto. We in the same game, but I'm on a different level. I passed it. Gotta keep grinding till I'm laid up in the casket. No fake round, but you feeling too plastic. Yeah, y'all feeling too plastic. They say my style crazy, but then it's straight jacket. Wow.
Hey team. How we doing? It is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, and I'm here to give you the rundown, the goss on what exactly is occurring today. 12 Platoon marched out of Kapooka, basic training, boot camp on Friday in front of their families. The significance of that is it's Monday. So on the weekend what happened was they got to say goodbye to their families, restricted leave at Kapooka, the school of, home of, the Australian soldier. Now they are qualified Australian soldiers, which means there's no excuses. Their term of engagement is locked into the commitment that they made with recruiting at DFR. They kind of know how to shoot. They know how to walk around the area. They know how to pay compliments. They understand the Queen is their boss. They know how to answer basic questions from the public and therefore can conduct themselves in a limited way in uniform in said public for Australia, the best small army in the world. But everything's about to change because being Monday, this means they've left Kapooka, got on buses, those that were going to Puckapunyal or Watsonia, Victoria, etc., for transport, for artillery, for armoured corps, where they go to Caval, where they go to tanks, it's up to them, where they're going to signals and other corps, maybe catering as well. Then you've got the other guys on the flip side that are going to the School of Infantry, that are going to steel barracks for engineers, and all of the other areas, including electronic warfare, depending on where they go. Allocation, corps muster. The rules have now changed. Now it is going to be a handoff sort of philosophy where it's not helping them how to make beds, how to wear their clothes. There's no more excuses for that, you just know. Understanding that at 6 in the morning, the flag goes up and gets broken. At 5 o'clock, it comes down. The customs and traditions of the Anzac that they must follow and hold their family name with pride while conducting their corps-specific training. We're going to talk about infantry today because it's physically the hardest. Understand the safety net is gone. You will be treated more like an adult, like a soldier, qualified soldier, Australian all-corps soldier, so you understand when you do something wrong. We're expecting a bit of implied task to occur, which means you don't have to get told everything to be able to be successful. What we're asking you to do, you can read between the lines of what the commanders are outlining for you. If you don't show initiative, some of the core values, courage, mateship, a sense of urgency, commitment to what you're actually in for, then everyone suffers for one. Remember that. We're only as strong as the weakest or slowest person, which is the reason why I say, women, don't go to infantry. Don't do it. But that's another story I've said ad nauseum. Get ready to hear the truth, because that's all that comes from this channel. Subscribe right now. If you don't, you're a lunatic. And if you do, what I suggest you do is also go to Patreon and get one of these fitness cards delivered to you. Thank you, Lauren is Shining Art. And I'll have a conversation with you on the bat phone. Said, bat phone, right here. When you get to School of Infantry, day one, what's going to occur is the unofficial day one is you will be met by a duty officer or a junior NCO who's going to come onto the bus and let you know that you're going to go to temporary housing in Gallipoli platoon. Okay, that's where all of the other musters are that are waiting to go into a platoon environment. You're going to know when you go through the gate, as you go past the obstacle course, that this is the home of the infantry soldier, Lone Pine Barracks. It's the real deal, team. You're not getting out of here unless you earn either time off on weekends, which you will get, which is something you don't get at Kapooka. But what you'll also get is enough rope to hang yourself, don't mind the pun. You make mistakes, you'll be punished. That's plain and simple. Until you get the Skippy badge, get out of there. And then the punishments can be even worse. Don't expect to take a car, don't be expected to be allowed to drive a car. We can't afford administrational dramas of you getting caught drink driving, ending up in the court that takes you out of training and then waste taxpayers' dollar. That's a fact, Jack. Remember, the very first morning, Ravelli, what's going to occur is you're going to get up from Gallipoli. Everyone from Gallipoli will go over and do a BFA, not a PFA, a BFA to age standard. If you fail that, then you'll be taken to the RAP to see if there is any sickness, ailment or condition that prevented you from giving your best performance, despite the fact that you said there was no dramas to the PDI, physical training instructor, when he asked you, vetted you, screened you before the BFA began. There is a hill around the sergeant's mess and officer's mess, but there's also a downhill. Now, what I suggest you do is try to beat your buddies, okay? Make a pact, maybe a penalty, a bet with your mates, who's going to win, who's not. But I can rest assured one thing, if you don't pass, you are not going to session, which means you're 3 months, you're going to be there next year. This is your last chance if you're going to the School of Infantry right now, 12 platoon. Congratulations for marching out, but now it's time to do the hard work. Skill-specific infantry 343 training. What's the motto of said core infantry? It's to seek out and close the enemy. It's to kill or capture him. It's to seize and hold ground, to repel attack by day or night, regardless of season, weather or terrain. Hashtag prepare for war.
Hashtag prepare for war.
This is what your job is. This is what your career is about. Until it's over, until you choose to tap out, which might be the rest of your life, so to speak, and everything that comes with it. As the SOPs change around the battalions, what you're going to find is there will be training that comes down, whether it be for mechanised, motorised, whether it be for dismounted infantry. The course will change at the School of Infantry in accordance with that. Every course is different. Every platoon, you'll be named after a battle line, whether it be Binbar, whether it be Long Tam platoon, whether it be Marianne Sang, whether it be Kapooka platoon. Okay, learn about it. Understand that it's a big bloody deal, because you're following the footsteps of the Anzacs and those that fell for the Royal Australian Regiment. Guys and girls, the most important thing to understand is you can't tap out anymore. You are a qualified Australian soldier. Get it on board. The training you do before you get there will make you a more welcomed, socially, individual within your team. There is a social aspect, there is a luck aspect, there is a preparation, there is a physical toughness aspect, there is how fast can you learn aspect. All of these things, if you're in the top 50%, then you're going to have an easy time at Singleton School of Infantry, despite the fact no one has an easy time at the School of Infantry. No one. It's hard, believe me. You are now a professional athlete. Remember that. That's what you are. The life of the soldier is not easy, but you asked for it and you're a volunteer. Also remember that. The best thing you can do is make a pact with all of those in your section when you actually get to Kapooka Platoon, Long Tam Platoon, Binbar or Samashon Platoon, etc. And that is that every day the Alpha Squad or Fire Team, Bravo Fire Team, etc. take turns in doing morning duties. Allocate a 2IC or a commander at the private level, someone with leadership toughness, someone you naturally follow, which is the essence of leadership, and tell them you are in charge of this section in the absence of having a section commander here. So that person is the one that says, hey, dickhead, get out of bed. Don't give a shit if you've got a hangover. Hey, fat boy, get up. Stop eating ice cream. More salad for you, tubby. Because remember, at the end of the day, it's not about your feelings. If you're making other people work harder because you can't do your shit, then so be it. And if you're a lady and you do go to the School of Infantry, guess what I'm going to tell you? Are you a feminist? If you say yes, I'm going to give you the gun to carry too to prove it. Hardcore is waiting at the end, and that will ask all the necessary questions, and it is hardcore. It changes for every course. It changes in relation to the instructors you get, which will be across the full spectrum of the Royal Australian Regiment, including Special Forces at times. Guys and gals, this is Kaz from In the Trenches with Kaz, helping you for day one. Be ready, get ready, and remember, no one cries for Argentina when it comes down to you feeling sorry for yourself. You asked for this, you're a volunteer, now you get the horns. See ya.